So what if I told you the key to busting that plateau and getting that next layer of stubborn fat off is actually in working out less and eating more food? I know sounds completely crazy, but in this video I'm going to break down exactly why that can be helpful for you and if it's something that you need to implement in your journey. Let's get it. All right, so welcome to the channel. My name is Montel Harden, certified personal trainer, strength and conditioning, and nutrition coach since 2017. And over that time, we've helped over 700 men and women drop stubborn body fat, build lean muscle, improve their overall health. And my goal with this channel and every single video we make is just to give you the tools, the insights, kind of pull back the curtains on exactly what we've been able to do with clients in our program in order to help them get to their goals so that you can do it too. Today, we're diving into the overall best plateau buster you can implement. So there's nothing more frustrating than being 6, 12, maybe even as far as 30 weeks in your journey, and you're plugging away, you're making progress week after week after week after week. You're eating in a way that you feel like you can halfway sustain, which is a change, and you're working out consistently, you're showing up, and all of a sudden, after making a little bit of progress, things just stop budging. Things just, it's kind of like you go from being on a super highway to almost moving in quicksand. And it's like, the more you, okay, cool, I'm gonna go from 4 days a week to 5 days a week, and then 5 days a week to 6 days a week working out. And it's like, the more you do, the harder the plateau hits, the more you start to slow down. And this is something that a lot of people do when they hit that plateau, is you automatically think that you need to do more in terms of your exercise, and you think that you need to eat less in terms of your food. So that's exactly what people do, but you have to understand why you hit that plateau. See, our body always wants to find a set point. It always wants to find homeostasis. It wants to adapt to your lifestyle. It wants to adapt to the amount of food that you eat, to the amount of exercise that you do. It wants to adapt to that. So if you give it 2, 4, 6, 8, 12 weeks to adapt, then that's exactly what it's going to do. It's going to adapt your metabolism. It's going to regulate and balance your hormones. It's going to pare down lean muscle if necessary. It's going to do the necessary things to adapt to the amount of food that it's receiving and the amount of energy that it's expending. And after a while, that's what leads to a plateau where you're not able to see progress because your body has fully adapted to what it is that you're doing. So I'm going to give you 2 tools that we've used with dozens of clients throughout the course of our program that have helped them finally bust through that plateau and start seeing the progress that they want to see. And then we're going to dive into how to implement it properly. Before we do, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn notifications on. That way you don't miss any more uploads going forward, and you get the game that you need every single week, helping you improve your body, health, fitness, and performance. So number 1 is going to be to take a 1 to 2 week diet break. A 1 to 2 week diet break where you basically are strategically upping your calories to maintenance levels, basically meaning if you're 175 pounds and you've been trying to consistently lose weight for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, and you've hit that plateau and you're still at 175, now what I want you to do is start consuming the amount of calories required to maintain 175 pounds. What this is going to actually, let me just dive into the study for you. So it's called the Matador study. It's actually an acronym. I forgot to write down what the acronym stands for, but not really important. Matador study is much easier to remember. But it was done by the International Journal of Obesity, and it involved 51 obese men, and they were divided into 2 groups. The first group was the continuous calorie deficit, where basically they ate 300 to 500 calories below their maintenance level for actually 30 weeks. So for 30 weeks, every single day, they ate in a calorie deficit. And then you have the second group called in the intermittent calorie deficit group, where they basically did it for 16 weeks. And every other week, they would go up to maintenance and then into a caloric deficit the next week, and then back into maintenance and then into a caloric deficit the next week. So they kind of alternated week after week after week. with this. They only did it for 16 weeks. And here's the crazy part. So the intermittent group that took that every other week diet break, they only did it for 16 weeks, and that group achieved 50% greater fat loss compared to the continuous group. The continuous group dieted twice as long, almost twice as long, and continuously for 30 days, whereas the intermittent group was on again, off again, on again, off again, not on again, off again in terms of their food choices. They're still eating high quality foods. They were just eating a little bit more of it. And that group lost 50% more body fat in half the time. That's nuts. That is crazy. That is huge. And it's a good thing to know that you can have those kind of breaks. You can have those kind of buffers in your dieting process and still get to where you need to be. But the intermittent group, the main reasoning that this was effective is because the body did not get an opportunity to adapt its metabolism to the lower food intake. Everything is about adaptation. You want your body to adapt to, your exercise and the stimulus that you put inside your workout so that it can build lean muscle, it can gain strength, it can gain mobility, all that stuff. Your central nervous system can adapt to what you're trying to do. So you want adaptation in that regard, but eventually adaptation gets to a point where the things that you're doing are no longer beneficial. So that's why it can be very, very good, especially for your diet, for your hunger hormones, for your metabolism. It can be very beneficial to not leave yourself stuck in a diet for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks on end, especially if you're in a steep calorie deficit, because that's going to strip off your lean muscle mass, which is going to, on that front end, look like you're losing a lot of weight. But actually what's happening is every single time you step on the scale and you're 3 pounds down, 5 pounds down, 7 pounds down, and you're excited and you're amped up about it, what's really happening is your metabolism is throttling week after week after week. And then you're going to get to about week 10, week 12, week 15, and you're going to smack a wall and you won't know what to do to get past it. No matter how low amount of food you eat, no matter how much more cardio you do, you're not able to get past it. A lot of that is because of the adaptation. So having those breaks inside your diet can be huge. Now you can do this intermittently or essentially every week. So a week in a calorie deficit and then a week at maintenance calories and then kind of flip back and forth like that. Or you can go 2 to 4 weeks at a time in a calorie deficit and then take 1 to 2 weeks in a caloric maintenance phase. That way you give your body the opportunity to replenish some glycogen stores, to kind of get some energy back, to kind of refuel and replenish your muscles. It's actually going to improve your workout performance as well if you're going to work out while having that diet break. But most of all, it's just going to help you recover. That's the most important thing. The same way your body needs recovery from exercise, sometimes it needs recovery from strict and disciplined dieting cycles. So it's extremely important that you add those into your journey. If you're just constantly dieting down and dieting down and dieting down, your body's going to hit a plateau where you're not able to make more progress. And obviously that's not what we want. And then the second piece of actually, let me backtrack. So there also obviously were psychological benefits with this as well. The intermittent group all reported overall more satisfaction with what they were doing, inside their diet. They enjoyed the process a lot more than the group that dieted for 30 straight weeks. And I think that we can all figure out why that is. It's because they had breaks. It's because they didn't have to eat extremely low amounts of food for 30 consecutive weeks. They knew, you almost saw light at the end of the tunnel. Basically every Sunday you knew going into your maintenance week that you were going to be able to get in a little bit more food, a little bit more carbs, a little bit more healthy fats. You maybe were able to use olive oil this week where you weren't last week. You maybe are able to eat more rice this week where you weren't last week. So it's very simple to see why that might be more appealing to somebody, why it might psychologically be better than 30 consecutive weeks of a strict calorie deficit. So it's just another reason why you might want to look into, especially if you've been the one that you're dieting down and like you've just been eating low amounts of food for a long time and you're not making progress anymore, it could be advantageous for you to add more food. And I know that this sounds counterintuitive. I know that psychologically it's going to be difficult to do, because for maybe a week or 2 or 3 or 4, you're not going to see a lot of movement on the scale. But I urge you to detach everything that you do from what the scale is saying. Pay attention to how you feel, pay attention to your energy levels, pay attention to your performance in the gym, pay attention to your digestion, pay attention to what you crave, pay attention to how well you sleep. So many factors are more important than what the scale says, and there are more important factors that determine actual fat loss than what the scale says. So let's pay attention to other things outside of just the scale, because when you do implement a diet break, you might not drop body fat, or you might not drop weight on the scale. And that's no problem at all. You might, but you might not, but you just need to be prepared for that. Then the second thing is going to be taking 1 to 2 weeks off high intensity training. Now this can be your HIIT, your cardio, your boot camp classes, stuff like that. But it can also be like if you're going in the gym every day, even if you're, strength training, but you're trying to hit personal records in your bench press and your deadlift, and like every single day that you go work out, you're training this way. It could be very advantageous for you to dial it back, pump the brakes a little bit, and actually give your body an opportunity to recover. So a study from the University of Michigan observed 36 obese adults as they went through 12 weeks of intense training. Now, these participants dropped body fat and improved metabolism over the 12 weeks, even with that high intense training. What's funny is that for the next 2 weeks, they did nothing, and they still ended up dropping around the same percentage of body fat. Giving your body an opportunity to rest and recover is what's needed and what's required to build up and maintain lean muscle, to regulate hormones, to give your body the ability to just catch up to what you're doing. Because there's always a delay. When you train, that's why when you go work out, you're not sore right after it. You might be tired, but you're not sore right after it. You're not sore for another 1, 2, sometimes even 3 days. There's always going to be a delay reaction to what we do when it comes to, especially training. When it comes to that training stimulus, there's always going to be a delay. There's always going to be something on the back end of that. So if you're always going and always going and always going, your body's never really able to catch up to what it is that you're doing. And that's why less sometimes is more in your workouts. I would much rather you work out 3 days that are high quality, high level workouts, as opposed to 5, 6 days a week where you're just trying to sweat as much as you can, and you're trying to burn as many calories as you can, and you're trying to work out as long as you can. Like quality over quantity all day, every day. Just like with a lot of things in life, more is not always better. Better is always better though. So if we can have higher quality workouts, that'll give us the opportunity to actually prioritize recovery. That's going to allow our body to catch up and kind of rebuild and recoup from what it was that we did and adapt to that. And now we come out of that and do the same thing again and rinse and repeat. So that is it. 2 strategies that I would implement. I would definitely implement the 1 to 2 weeks off of intense training. If you are a person, I call it kind of like the type A personality, person that you feel like you always have to be doing something. Like you know that you want to get to your goals and you need more. You need to sign up for this workout class. You need to do that workout class. And you need to go to the gym in the morning. And then you need to go running at night. Like if that's your personality, I can guarantee you without a shadow of a doubt that you will make significant progress just taking a brisk walk for the next 2 weeks, doing some yoga, stretching, move your body a little bit. Don't get me wrong. Like we don't want to just like go sit on the couch or whatever. You want to move your body, but more low grade, low intensity exercise is exactly what the doctor ordered for you when it comes to actually giving your body an opportunity to recover. And it's going to be a game changer for you. You're going to feel like a new person once you finally get back into workouts. And then same with diet. If you have been dieting down, salads, green smoothies, fasting, you've been doing all these things and scale's not moving, body fat's not dropping, you're not seeing progress, your body is asking you for more resources. It's asking you for more food. Especially if you're the same person that's working out 5-6 days a week, going running, doing the classes, all that stuff. and then you're turning around and you're not fueling your body at all, that's the exact opposite of what you need to be doing. Fuel yourself properly, give yourself the necessary breaks and opportunities to recover, and I promise you, you'll get out of that plateau. And then now you'll have the tools to where every time you hit a plateau, you'll know exactly what it is. And instead of freaking out and just saying, I need to do more, I need to eat less, you now have a strategy and a game plan that you can implement in order to bust past that plateau. And that's what gets you to where you need to be. Progress is not going to be linear. You're not going to go linearly week after week after week after week down. You're going to have ups and downs, and you're going to have some stagnation. It's important that you understand how to operate and maneuver within that stagnation. And these are two very, very proven, tried and true ways to make it happen. So that's the squad. If you listen to all this and you're like, hey, I think I'm here, but I need some help implementing this stuff. I need to understand how to do it the right way. I'm tired of the guesswork. I'm tired of trying to piece it together myself. And I want to know how to do this. And I want somebody to help me get it done. We love to be able to do that. Click the first link down in the description below. Take our transformation quiz. And we will basically take over your health and fitness. The same way that you might have an accountant or a financial planner to help you manage your finances and help you create the right investments and saving strategy and retirement strategy. We're going to come in and help you figure out how to set up the best health, fitness, and performance protocols for your body, your mind, your life in order to get to where you need to be. So if that interests you, click that first link and make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on so that you don't miss any more uploads going forward. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.